Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. This video today is on a 2010 or 2011 Vauxhall Astra. I believe this is the 1 point something CDTI. I'm not really sure which engine is on this. I didn't research because the problem with the car, there's nothing to do with the engine. One problem is, I'm going to show you, so everything is closed, so the car, I don't know if you can hear, unlocks okay with the key, but does not lock. When I press the lock button, nothing happens, okay? It unlocks. I'm going to try to show you. So if I lock it here, now I can unlock it, but when I press, nothing happens. This is going to be a separate video. The one we're gonna, so just keep tuned, stay tuned. The video the other problem the car came with is the following. Let me start the engine. Okay. So is this. So when I press the heated seat on the heated seat on that side, as you can see, it came maximum. Now I can reduce, and it's off. When I turn this one on this side, it does that, as you can see. So it goes on and then goes off. It doesn't stay on. That one works fine. As soon as I press the button, I can hear the relay on this side, just as that. These being the electronic HVAC system and all this stuff, I do believe we might gonna be able to scan it and see if there's anything there that help us out diagnosing this. Otherwise, we're gonna have to maybe go and see what's going on with this. But first, the maxi sys is already plugged in. It's not undone, but it's plugged in there. So let's gonna turn it on and let's gonna see what we find out. Okay, and we are on our main menu. Now let's gonna see if it does have here. Yes, it does. Okay, so let's gonna look at the passenger seat. So that side, the good one, and let's gonna see what we have here. Oh, this is just a thing like, okay, we'll do anyway. So we do have, okay, so passenger seat cushion heating command is uncommanded. Passenger seat heating off. Passenger seat heating off. Cooling mode or cooling mode, cooling level or mode. So passenger seat heating mode, passenger seat heating, because we don't have the other ones, heating level, heating command inactive, passenger seat cushion temperature sensor 3.5 volts. So now I'm not going to activate in there. I'm just going to press the button. Okay. So seat blah, blah, high active 3.5 volts, medium active, so medium, low, off. Okay, so that's good. So obviously I can activate the heating through here, which that will say commanded if I press it, I believe. So in progress, there we go. There we go. And I can turn it off, or I can see the response from when I press the button. So nevertheless, this is where we are. Now let's gonna look at the other one. Okay, and I can see straight away a difference here. 0.3 volts, when the other one is showing 3.5. Okay, so if I press the button, obviously nothing happens. the button comes on, but that doesn't really change. If I activate it through here, I can hear the relay going, and that comes on. It says active, but it doesn't tell the mode. It just says it's active. So I'm basically forcing the system to go active. So I should feel, I presume, I should soon start to feel. The problem is, I don't have, or it looks like the temperature sensor is now working, and that's why the system is not turning the cushion on, or the system on. I don't know if I really feel anything here, really. Can't really feel any heat. Maybe even doing this, because it says off, so it says heating command is active, but then the mode and the level, so it's gone inactive now. Or I was reading this wrong. Okay, so it goes active in there and then goes inactive. Okay, so it's gonna get out of here. Let me see if we have a module where we can read codes and stuff, see what. But I have a feeling that we're gonna have something related to that sensor. Module, suspension module, body, will that be in body control module? Oh no, hang on, front seat heating control module. Hold on, there's one module just for the seats. Oh, there we go. Trouble codes, current and history, driver seat. There we go. There we go. Okay, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. It's to do with our sensor. So B1925 and B2345. This is not current, so seat heater disable circuit, low voltage, high temperature. Low voltage is not current, but then we have a short to ground on our sensor. So it looks like, I might be wrong, seat heater disable circuit, low voltage, high temperature. So it looks like the heated seat went on a high voltage, and the system must turn the circuit off. And then, as you can see at the top, it is now a current code for the sensor short to ground. So we can go to live data. Oh, this is going to be the same as the other one, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Yep. So if I go to my other one, there we go. I have 3.5 volts. It still tells me the range is between 0 and 5, but obviously the 0.3 is not acceptable. He probably throws a fault. It throws a problem with the sensor. Active tests. There's no point to be doing this. Yeah, there's no really point, because yeah, it takes us to this screen again. Okay, so we have a problem with our temperature sensor on my driver side seat, and sorry about that. And well, we're gonna have to trace the problem. We're gonna either find a problem with the wiring, or we might gonna find that the mat or the cushion on this seat is faulty. Maybe, don't know. Let's gonna start to investigate and see what we're gonna do. Okay, so I've printed some diagrams from the Astra H 2010. I don't have the Astra J, which is this one. I thought they would be similar, but indeed they are not. I thought it would be a similar system, but according to this, it doesn't really look like it's the same. These the Astra H seemed to me that it did have separate modules for both seats. This one, it looks different. This one looks like this module that is under the driver's seat is the same module that controls both seats. Might be wrong, but is what it looks like, because there's no module on the other seat. And if I unplug this, I lose connection to the front seat heating control module. So I don't have like left or right or driver or passenger side. There's only one module, and then inside this module, as we're going to see, we have like live data, for example. So inside that module, as you can see, we have driver's seat and passenger seat. So I can only assume that this module controls both sides. So what I want to do now is, so basically the wiring that's gonna heat that side and the sensor that comes from that side, which if you remember was reading 3.5 volts, they're gonna have to come here somewhere. So that's what I'm gonna try to find now. Okay guys, I've just made a few more checks and measurements, and the way this works is the temperature sensor is on the bottom cushion. At the back you only have the cushion, that's it, the heated element, which obviously we don't have errors for that. Now on here obviously you have 4 wires, which means 2 wires are going to be your sensor, and 2 wires is going to be obviously the heating element. Now I, even without diagrams, I figured out that these 2 yellow wires are my temperature sensor, these other 2 are my heating element. Okay, actually not difficult to go and see, because you have a brown and a yellow, a brown and a black, and over here for the one at the back you have a brown and a black. So things start to make a little bit of sense. But measure the 2 yellow wires on that seat, and I have 3.7 volts or 3.6 volts, which kind of match the reading from the scanner. And on this one I have 300 millivolts, which means 0.3 volts. Let me show you that. So 318 millivolts, so 0.3. So it kind of makes sense while we're reading. So from here, these 2 wires, they go straight into my module. As you can see, there's one there, the other one back there, and that's it really. There's nothing else. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with this at this point. I think my problem is going to be the actually mat. But before that, what I'm going to do, just make sure my ECU is reading the input from the sensor, is I'm going to put the voltage that is coming from that side, I'm going to put it into this side, and I want to see on the scan tool, see if I get voltage readings. Okay, and the way I'm going to do it, I was trying to do something different, but it was not working. So I've done it already, so I can see the inputs and everything, but it didn't work the way I was expecting. Jumping, obviously, if you remember, the code was for a short to ground, if I'm not mistaken, on this sensor here, okay, which means it was short to ground. So when I was trying to put the voltage from the good sensor into the bad sensor, sort of, without obviously taking the pins out, my reading would go to about 0.6. I believe that was because that was obviously shorting the other voltage and was bringing it down to close to 0. So I've done something different. So what I've done is, you're going to see, this is the good one, is the passenger seat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 12 volts. So my pin is there on the 12 volts, and I'm going to put 12 volts on it, and you're going to see that's going to jump to 5 volts. So I'm going to put it there. You're going to see it go up to 5 volts, I take it out, it goes back to the reading. Now we're gonna check the driver's seat. And interesting is, when I've done that the first time, my voltage jumped to that. So I'm gonna do it again. You're gonna see on that seat it's gonna go up to 5 volts. There we go. When I take it out, you see 1.5, and now it drops down. It never went back to 0.3 as it was before, which is a little bit weird, but yeah, that's what happened. I don't think the sensor is fixed. I still think we need a new sensor there, but nevertheless, I'm gonna, because we have some voltage there, I don't think it's gonna work anyway, because if I do this, let me do something. I could have thought about that. Let me see if the code is now okay, because I had everything unplugged and all that stuff. Let me just erase these codes. Oh, no faults. Look at that. Let me now data 18. It's not the passenger side, it's the driver's side. And let me start the engine, because I don't want to drop the battery too low. Okay, so engine is running, and when I press the button now, I've done it just before I start to record, the actual button now stays on, as you can see. And as you can see, seat back and cushion heating, high, cushion, but it says inactive in there. Look at that. Hang on a minute, let me see what happens on the other live data. I want to see what happens on that one. Okay, if I turn that one on, what's going on? Alright, let me go back. Everything just gone off. Nothing works now. Hang on. Let me go back. Control codes. Right, there we go. So we still have the same problem for the high temperature for the sensor. So I think that's what we need. It says circular low voltage, so he disabled everything. He turned the entire system off. Let me see. Let me start the engine again. Okay, there we go. If I disable this, let me see what happens now if I connect it. Oh, it's actually back on again. There we go. So it's working now. Oh, it just got off. And it's now working again. Look, nothing happens. So we do have a problem here, obviously. We're gonna have to... And there we go. Current, driver seat, sensor circuit, voltage open. Oh, that was because he was disconnected. Okay, so it might be because that voltage is too low. So let me see if I can trigger the system. No, it is not working because it shows maximum voltage, so it doesn't allow anyway. So same thing. So I think the way this temperature probably works Now it shuts the system completely off. Let me disconnect this cushion here. Okay, if I disconnect this cushion, this one now, the system stays on. As you can see, it stays on. So I do believe that what is happening is the following. The sensor should probably read lower voltage as the temperature gets higher. So because it's reading about 1.2 volts or whatever that was, that means the seat is too hot. So I would have to, and 5 volts is obviously the maximum, which means too cold, but I believe the ECU will see that as a fault, because it's not what I was expecting. It's now the 5 volts. So so when I disconnect that one now, it just allows the other seat to heat. And let's gonna see if I'm correct on that. Let's gonna have a look at that live data there. So it's 3.4 now, 3.3. So there we go. I was right. So as the temperature goes up, that voltage is going to drop. It's on maximum. So, and that's why the other one reading 1.5 or 1.2. That means it's extremely hot. The temperature is too high. There we go. And it's going to drop and drop and drop. Okay, so we do have a faulty temperature sensor here. We could probably trick the system with the correct voltage to think the sensor was good, but the problem is, if my mat is gone, my cushion is faulty, I don't want to do that. I don't want to create a shorting here or damage anything else. So I think it's time. So there you go. Look, sorry guys, as you can see, it's just going down and down and down. There we go, you see. So that's how it works. That's how this system works. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So so I think there's not a lot we can do, because from here, guys, this goes straight to the inside into the mat. Now, yeah, and the mat is right here, look. Can't really see it, but I can see in there, it's right here. So we're gonna have to dismantle this seat, which is not gonna be easy, I guess. We're gonna have to take the seat off, dismantle everything, see what is the best way to remove this mat without, maybe I'll be able to slide it out from here, from the top perhaps, I'm not really sure. Through the front side is pretty much impossible, so it's gonna have to be, yeah, okay. So the other side is now reading 2.8. Just gonna turn the system off. Okay, so we have a bad cushion. Let's gonna search for one, and let's gonna get it replaced. If there is anything broken inside, maybe we could, but it's gonna be, nah, I'll just get another cushion, even if I need to go Vauxhall to get one, and we'll get it replaced. And I think that's it for now, until I get the parts, and then I'll take you through how to replace this. I've never done it, but I'm sure I will figure that out. So we're going to replace that, put everything back on, clear codes, and we should be good to go. Okay guys, and the seat is now opened. The heating element is here, as you can see, and I've just stripped this down a little bit to get to my temperature sensor. So here it is, and I've opened this down just to make sure everything was good. Everything is good. I'm back probing the sensor here. As we can see, we have 2.2k ohms, and if I grab the sensor like this, look at that. is actually kind of working. But as we have seen on live data, since I put 12 volts, since I put the 12 volts through the sensor, it kind of started to read something, to make some readings, but as we know, is way out of the parameters, as you have seen. So I think there's no really fix for this, other than if I could find a sensor like this, but seriously, no chance I'm gonna find nothing like this. I don't even know, what sort of sensor this is, what sort of values I'll be looking at. So this will be nearly impossible. So I think it's time to get a new mat, a new heating element, I would say, and get it replaced. To open the seat, guys, is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you have obviously to take the leather. You have to open these rings here that holds the leather to the actually seat itself, to these wires that runs along the seat. It's gonna be, I don't know how I'm gonna put them back, but I'll find a way. But at the moment, all I need to do now is try to get a heating element, and hopefully we'll get a working heated seat again. Okay guys, and I just got back from Vauxhall, getting a new mat. Luckily they had it on a shelf, exactly the same part number, so 132-7326, 132-7326, so the same thing. £122 and 40p, quite expensive. I could not find this one online. I looked on several websites, including eBay. On eBay I found the one for the Insignia, which although the shape looks very similar, I was risking that these measurements would be different, and then the temperature sensor, I don't know if it would be the same parameters, if it would read exactly the same. So I don't know if it would work, and I just thought it wouldn't work. It would not worth the risk. So I bought this one. Nevertheless, the one for the Insignia, I found it on eBay for about 70 quid. So, and I messaged the guy saying, asking if he would have the one for the Astra, and he said that he could quote me on that. But he said the Astra would be a little bit more expensive. Go figure why. So even if the guy would put another 10 or 20 quid on top, then I wouldn't be saving too much. And taking consideration the car is here now already for about a week because of the weather and stuff, and I just want to get the car out of the way. So yeah, I just got it from Vauxhall. As I said, 122 quid. Just curiosity, I want to see what the reading should be on a new sensor. So this one has been here on the sun, has been getting sunlight, and is now reading about 1.9 k ohms. So I'm going to open the bag, and we're going to read the resistance on that one. I'm just curious to see what a good one should look like. Okay, and we just plugged it in, and that's a hell of a difference. Look at that. 17, 18 kilo ohms. Plus another thing that is interesting. Let me see something here. Hang on a second. Hang on. Just stay tuned. Okay, so I was just checking something there, but yeah, so that's a hell of a difference, as you can see. And another interesting thing is, look, so as the temperature raises, my resistance should raise, as you have seen, and the other one was doing the opposite, which is a little bit interesting as well, isn't it? So okay, anyway, I think we have well diagnosed a bad temperature sensor, so we're gonna start to put this one back on. It comes with this adhesive to glue back into the foam. I think the tricky bit is going to be to get these these sort of wires put back again. That's going to be a challenge, but we will surely manage to get it done. Okay, I'm going to crack on with this, and that's it for now. Okay guys, I just want to show you a little bit of the technique I'm using to put these wires back on. So I'm doing it, I'm opening the ring like this, then I get it through this black plastic rod that holds the leather, and then I get it around the wire at the bottom. Then with the pliers I just go like this from the top. So hang on a second. So then I just screw the pliers from the top, and I just press that, just like now with these ones, but just to show you. Then I go like this, and I just compress this, and that's why I'm doing it. I only have a couple left. It's nearly all done. So yeah, just to show you how I'm putting this back on. Hey guys, and everything is now back in place, and it's time to try it. Let's gonna see what happens. So let's gonna start the engine, because you need the engine running for this. Oops. Okay, it's engaged, so car is done, so it's running. So let's gonna try to turn the passenger seat on, and it's done. Now let's gonna, I haven't plugged in machines or anything like that. Let's gonna try that one, and look at that. Ta-da! Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn them off, because well guys, we know it's fixed, we don't need to go through these again, but just curiosity, we'll go through the live data just quick, delete the codes, leave the ECU cleaned, and yeah, it's done. Let's just gonna plug the max have a last look, and yeah, and we'll go from there. Okay, I do apologize for the glare. Let's gonna go back to the heated seat, driver codes, and obviously no faults detected, which is spot on. And let's just gonna look at some live data. Okay, passenger, just so we can recap what you're supposed to have in there somewhere. So there we go, so 3.6 volts, that's roughly how we should be. Sorry guys, I do believe this is ambient temperature. Obviously I've turned them on just for a couple of seconds, turned them off. There's no, even the sun was not yet touching, heating the seat, so it's just the normal, just like we've seen it before, wasn't it? So let's gonna go back now on the driver's seat, and we should have obviously a very, very similar value. There we go, 3.7 volts compared with the 0.3 volts right at the start, and then, sorry about the glare guys, compared with the 0.3 volts at the start, and then when I put 12 volts through the sensor, something happens internally and it starts to output 1.5, I think it was, guys, somewhere around there, but obviously nowhere near where it should be, so that's absolutely fine. So if I turn now my driver seat, there we go, seat back in cushion, high, active, and now you're going to see that this voltage should, I don't know, drop or go up. On the multimeter was showing going up. Not really sure how the car is gonna, but nevertheless it looks like it's going down actually. Let me see if I just sit right at the back. There we go, it goes down actually. Okay, it depends how I had the okay, I know where he was. Yeah, it depends how I have the multimeter connected. Anyway, it's working, that's all it matters. As you can see, it's not shutting down anymore. And let's turn this off because it's hot already as is. So So yeah, we traced it down as a faulty sensor on our heating element on the bottom part of the seat. Got replaced, and problem solved. So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope there's some information here you guys can find it useful for your further reference, whatever. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, any comments, you know the score, put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.